Okay, week 5 on Thursday, so our final day actually is just dedicated to the project, the final project. And make a note, this will be due on 6/19. This is actually Sunday. Okay, so it will not be due on Tuesday like everything else, it'll be due on Sunday. So as long as I have it by, Sunday night, we'll make it 11:59 p.m., then it'll be on time. As part of the actual final project, I want you to do two things. I want you to do the actual final project itself, and we'll go over that outline. And then I'll also want you to fill out an evaluation, okay? And we'll get to that. So let's do the assignment. So here is your final project. All right, now for your final project, I'm going to want you to create a set of lessons. And they're going to be lessons outlining how to use specific technologies in the classroom. Okay, so let me go through all this because it gets a little confusing, but hopefully at the end it'll be okay. So you'll need to create 4 lessons. They're going to be 4 separate lessons, right? One for each topic. When I say classroom topic, I have a list of all the topics on the next page. Okay, now in each lesson, you're going to use a different format, and I have all the formats on the next page as well. Each lesson should be detailed enough. This is very important. So the quality and content have to be high enough that any teacher can engage in your lessons. Let's say you put your lesson on YouTube, they can watch your lesson, and they'll be able to use the technology for the intended purpose. Okay, so these need to be high quality lessons. All right, in your lessons, I want you to make sure you explain how to use the technology. I want you to explain how to use that technology in the specific topic. So it's not enough just to explain the technology. Explain how to use the technology in the topic. And again, we'll get to the topic. And then I want you to explain why the technology is a good fit for that topic. All right, note, I'm going to be grading this on the appropriateness and the quality of your lesson format, right, as it relates to the topic. And I'll explain that when I get to the topic stuff. Just keep that in the back of your mind. It's going to be the quality and the appropriateness. All right, you're going to need to discuss at least one technology from each category. And again, that's on the next page. We'll go over that. Okay, note, each lesson will contain one topic and one technology. So you're free to combine the topics and the technologies however you see fit. Right, but you must include all 4 topics and a technology from each category. Okay, and again, I'll let you know what all that stuff is. Okay, let's talk about submissions now. You're going to do just like everything else we've done. You're going to create a new side navigation bar called Final Project, create a new web page also called Final Project, and then obviously include a link to your web page under that new navigation bar. So you'll have Final Project under Final Project. Organize your page in 4 sections. You're going to have 4 lessons, so there should be some kind of organization where I can tell where the lessons are and make sure it's user-friendly. Right? And then you're going to place links to all lesson materials right in the appropriate sections because you're going to have it organized somehow. All your links should be embedded. And the due date we discussed earlier is not the final schedule, but your due date is going to be Sunday. All right, 6. All right, June 19th. And do by 11:59 p.m. Just make sure you turn it in by Sunday, right before Sunday ends. All right, so that's the outline. Okay, so here's what I meant by all that topic, technology, format stuff. You have 4 classroom topics, you have 4 technology categories, and 4 lesson formats. What I need you to do is select one from each column. So you have 4 topics. So first you'll discuss classroom management. So you can discuss any topic within classroom management, organizing, grading, recording, disseminating information, just something in classroom management. Okay, you're going to discuss how to engage students. So these are student activities. You're going to discuss how to assess students. And then lastly, how to give students feedback. So those are the 4 main topics. Okay, your technologies, you'll use websites, you'll use screen capture and video editing. You can use any one of these, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, Google Add-ons. And the last category, you can either use QR codes or special ed technologies. Okay, in your lesson formats, you're going to have a video, you're going to have a podcast, a slide presentation, and then a website. And when you do this, I want you, just like we have in previous assignments, I want a whole new web page. Okay, so when you're going to do your website assignment, that needs to be a new web page. So how this works is you're going to choose one topic, a technology to use, and then a lesson format. So my example here, so let's say my lesson 1, I'm going to talk about classroom management. Okay, so I'll do my classroom management. Okay, so let's make that red. So I'm going to talk about classroom management, and I'm going to do it by creating websites and announcements. Okay? So I'm going to use websites. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to do this with a slide presentation. Okay, so those are my 3. So my very first lesson, I'm going to talk about classroom management. I'm going to talk about it specifically how to use websites in classroom management. Right? So when I talk about classroom management, it's going to be how to use a website to help with classroom management. And now how am I going to deliver my lesson? It'll be through a slide presentation. So I'm going to have a slide presentation that instructs teachers how to use websites to help them with classroom management. So kind of work backwards. All right, my second example down below, I'm going to talk about engaging students. So I'll make this blue. I'm going to talk about it specifically using Google Slides, so interactive projects with Google Slides. And then I'm going to create a video lesson for this. Okay, so you'll see my first lesson was the red one. It was a slide presentation on how to use websites for classroom management. My second lesson now will be I'm going to actually create a video to instruct teachers how to use Google Slides to engage students. That'll be my second lesson. So now I only have to pick one out of category 3. So once I've done this for Google Slides, I no longer have to choose category 3. In fact, you no longer can choose category 3. So then maybe my third lesson, okay, so I'm going to do assessing students, and maybe I'm going to use QR codes, and I'll do a podcast for that. Okay, that'll be my third lesson. So now here's where you have to be clever about what you choose. Not all of the technologies and the formats go together. Am I going to use QR codes to assess students? Well, it's possible. I don't know that it jumps out right away to me that that's the best use of QR codes. But if you can make it work, you can make it work. So that's my note above right here. I'm going to be grading the appropriateness and the quality. So if your actual technology doesn't fit the topic, I'm taking off points. And if your lesson format doesn't fit the topic, I'm taking off points. Okay, so then that's your final project. So what I need you to do, choose a classroom topic, a technology to engage that topic, and then you're going to create a lesson based on these 4, and then 1 from each column. So you'll end up with 4 lessons. 1 will be a video, 1 will be a podcast, 1 will be a slide presentation, 1 will be a website. And you'll discuss 4 different technologies in 4 different topics. And that's it.